Hi guys, it's Kieran from Andy Big Sports here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Naish Chimera 2026. So this was my favourite mid-length of the year that has just been. So what I loved about it was just how quickly it got going, how efficient it was, and just how stable it was as well. So they've made some changes. They've kept quite a bit the same, but the changes I do quite like. I think it's just going to make the board easier. They've added some new sizes, so you're now going from 58 all the way up to 148, which I like. They've sort of accommodated for everyone, and that's going from 7 foot all the way to, it's very small, but for the actual boards that are going to be wingable, it is going to be 5'8". So it is the 58 litre here, go into the 53 litre, you then go to 5'3". You could wing that, but I think that's really where they're going towards the prone side of things or pro riders. So we're just going to be talking about the 58 all the way to the 148. So here at the shop, just before I start, we're going to have the 58, the 78 and the 108 on demo. So if you want to try it, get in contact with us, come and give it a go. But yeah, let's just go through some of the main features of the board that has changed compared to the 2025 model. So straight away, here's a 2025 70 litre. It's not super easy to see probably on camera, but I'll do some close-ups in a minute. They have changed the deck, so that double concave that was on the top as well, which was originally for proning, so it's more comfortable to lay down onto paddle. They have taken that away, so it is now just flat on the deck there. I think a lot of people didn't like sort of that shaping on their foot, especially on that front foot strap. I didn't mind it. Haven't hopped out on one yet. That's going to be another video, but this is just a quick talk through. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that feels in comparison. I think I'm going to feel a tiny bit more connected to the deck of the board where my foot is going to be flat on there. And then the nose as well. You can see that that nose is slightly more rounded on the newer one. But the key thing, if you have a look at that, I know it's a tiny bit chipped, but then if I grab the 2026 one, and then you have a look at that, there is a lot more volume in the nose. So same as the KT Super K, they have added that slight bubbling on the top there, so there's not too much underneath. But what they've just done is added a bit more volume to the nose. So when you are pumping to get going in those lighter winds, that board is just popping back up again rather than just fully sinking it down. So extra volume in the nose is always a bit better. And where they can hide volume to make a board seem slightly more compact, but still have that volume there, is always a win. Now then, the shaping underneath has still stayed very similar. You've got the big bevels along the rail, and then what you have got is just that double concave down the middle. So it's just going to make the board super efficient, super streamlined, and on the touchdowns as well, you're just going to pop straight back up again. So that is just what I love about this. It's still super stable, so you've got the width there. But once you start getting that momentum going, you are just working off this outline here where the bevel comes to. And so then the double concave as well just keeps that water flow going down the middle, just spits you straight back up again on those touchdowns and takeoffs. But then just that bevel is just keeping everything super stable. So another thing I forgot to mention there, I don't think there's as much rocker on the nose of that board as the older one. So the 2025 one, it's not old, is it? Well, it's last year's one, but not as much rocker. And then what you can just see, you've got the double concave starting right at the nose there. That's working all the way along to just about just after the handle. So just before the track is when it sort of finishes off. You can sort of see it. You could almost say it continues a tiny bit, but it doesn't. Not really. Like the main section of that double concave is down the front of the board, almost from halfway forwards. So yeah, so the track is now a lot longer. Holy moly, in comparison, that's my hand, that's one long track. On the smaller sizes from 58 down, it is still the older track, but on the 68 upwards, it is going to be this nice longer track there. So this one here, 78 litres, and it is 6'1". That's not 6'7", don't worry, it's 6'1" by 20.5, and it's 5 inches thick. And now turning it over now, you can now see there is not that shaping on here anymore. It is now dead flat. It's almost like a slight illusion with these bits here. It makes it look like there's shaping. There is not. I have put a ruler across it. That is a dead flat deck pad now. Slightly lifts at the front, but that's just the shaping on the board there. And from the side here, look how much more volume is in that nose now. So they've got that bubbling on the top there to hide that volume away. And I think they've just, the top layer of the board, apart from the having no cutout, is still very, very similar. Just now, I think they've added a tiny bit more on the bottom as well. So it just looks like there is less rocker there. As I said just a minute ago, it looks like there is less rocker. But yeah, more volume on the nose. The tail of the board, if I come around this way, is still very similar. So this is 9 centimeters, whereas on the 70, it was 8 centimeters, but then it is a 70 versus a 78. So there's just got to be a tiny bit more width and everything there as well. Just one last one. Look at the design. They've gone back to that classic yellow Naish logo. That is what we all want to see. We all think of Naish, we think of yellow. I mean, I do anyway, especially after all the years of seeing that logo up in the shop. And then they've got yellow just underneath as well. Just love it. It looks beautiful. So like I said, this board goes from, well, the ones we're going to focus on, from 58 all the way to 148. I've just got the dimensions here because I'm not going to be able to remember them all. So it is, the 58 is 5'8" by 19.2. The 68 is 6 foot by 19.8. That's a pretty nice sounding size. The 7'8", which is the one that we have on demo here, is 6'1" by 20.5. So, you know, you got that bit extra length. It's still got some width there, which is nice. It's not going below that 19 sort of barrier. The 88 litre is 6'3" by 21.1. Now that's one that Mark's pretty excited to give a go at some point. We don't have it on demo, but it sounds exciting to him. He's also super excited to try the 78. The 108, which is the other board we have on demo, is 6'6" by 22.7. You're basically going to 23 wide on a 6'6" for a 108. So that person stepping down, they've sort of learnt on 125 litre, 115 litre, 110 litre board. You can sort of go to something like this. It's not going stupidly long. It is not going stupidly narrow. So yeah, I think it could be a good step down. And along with the 128 as well, 6'9" by 24, for someone who wants to unlock lighter winds, they want to get one board to sort of do it all. They don't want to have to get a smaller board and a downwind board, but they want to sort of unlock a bit more. I see the 128 unlocking a lot. And then for those bigger guys as well, they've done the 7 foot by 26. So for paddling, for para winging, for even wing foiling, I think it's just going to do so much dependent on the rider weight, what they want to achieve and what they want to get out of it. So yeah, I mean, that is it. I myself have got the 58. I'm going to be using this for winging, mainly in waves, to be honest. I'll have to wait and see what I can get light wind out of it. So the 70 litre from last year, so I'm 72 kilos, 70 litre last year, I could get 8 knots with the Evo HA, so AFS Evo HA 1000 and a 5 meter Naish Neutron. I could get myself in 8 knots. So for the same setup, let's see the minimum wind I can do with this. But yeah, that is the 2026 Naish Chimera. I don't actually think I've said yet how amazing this board looks as well. We've had probably 5 or 6 people see it so far. They're just saying how sexy this board looks in person. Well, I'm using the word sexy. I am in love with this design. It's simple, but I just love the small details like the new, well, the going back old school of the yellow Naish logo. They haven't gone quite old school enough to be the skull and crossbones, if people remember that from Naish. And then just on the back, it just fades away. And then even on the deck pad as well, if I just show you that, probably can't see it, but it's just sort of speckled on the deck pad. But yeah, so Naish Chimera 2026. I'm loving the board from last year. I'm super excited for this. I'm liking there's more volume in the nose. I'm liking they have flattened out that deck pad. I'm liking that they've kept the shaping very similar on the bottom. And then one thing that a lot of people are liking as well is the extended track on the bottom of it. So it just gives you a bit more play where you can have the foil. We've got the 58, the 78, and the 108 here to demo at the shop. Just get in contact. Give us a call if you want to know more about the board. I'm going to be taking them all down to the Kernel Classic next week. So potentially most people watching this, the video of on the water use of these boards will already be out there. But yeah, that's all I can think of. See you guys in the next one.